Today I'm going to share with you how to make a clip for your tarp. Now this is more of a bushcraft style project. Me personally, I would not use this in a survival type scenario if something happened to my shelter system. But to understand how to do this, especially when you're around camp, relaxing, if something would fail on your tarp or you need something to bind and pull, which you're gonna see what I'm talking about in a second, this is a great project and it gives us more time out here and more crafts out here to develop, impress our friends with, and always impress yourself. So let's take a look at how we make a very simple woodland clip. What I've done is went ahead and I cut 2 sticks. These are a little bit smaller than my thumb and about 3 inches in length. Okay, so you're gonna need 2 of those. I then took a small branch and I just flattened it out. You can see what that looks like. Just a small flat piece of wood. That's about 2 inches in length. And then we're gonna need some thin cordage. First thing that we're going to do is we're going to split one of these lengths, okay? So just take your knife and split that right down the middle. And we're good. Now just remember where they match up. You don't have to do anything to this center section, just keep them like this. Now to make this project look a little bit nicer, I like to say pick one side and just flatten it out, pick the other side, flatten it out. It just makes it look better and you'll see what happens here once we get it there. Again, this is more a crafting project than it is anything else, but it's something cool to do around camp. So see what that looks like. That's all we have to do to that piece. Very easy, very simple. Of course, you're gonna have to flatten out your branch, and then that just goes about center point in here. All right, so see what that, we're starting to create that pin. Now, what we're going to do is take some cordage, and I say thin cordage because if you use heavier cordage, it just doesn't work out as well. I have quite a lot here. I'm gonna say I have about 4 foot of cordage. So what I do is take a center point, and honestly, there's no way specifically to do this. You just have to end up at the same location, and you'll see what I mean by that in a second. But start at the back end with your cordage up against that T-piece right there. And then what I like to do is take one side and just start to wrap it. Now you don't have to you want this tight, but you don't need it so tight that you're killing yourself with it. Maybe 3 wraps around, and then take the other piece, 1, 2, 3, and then we're gonna go to the front. Okay, and when I say front, what I mean is in front of that cross piece. So again, 1, 2, 3. This one, 1, 2, 3. And then all that I want to do is put a half hitch on this. So the easiest way to do that is to just fold your line over like this. Make a loop. Whoop, try and do it one-handed for you here. Make a loop, slide that loop over and pull it. Okay, very easy. And then we have that line that's sticking back. Same on the other side. Again, we're making a loop, slide it over, and pull it. These doesn't have to be any more technical than that. What we're gonna do now at this back section, where the 2 lines come up, is we're just gonna knot that off. So we get that through there. Like that. Okay. Give that a tug. So now you see what we have here. We have something that looks like a pin with a stick in the middle. Okay. Neither side, if I can get that the right place on the camera, is tightened down more than the other. Take this second piece. The second piece, all that we're going to do is create a wedge out of this. So look where it's flat, and I like to just use my knife to carve this down. Carve one side, flip it over, carve the other side. You don't want it too narrow and you don't want it too steep. Something like that will be just fine. All right, so let's go over to our tarp and see what we do next. Okay, so this tarp is set up at a camp stationary, but imagine this grommet rips out and we need to retighten this. With these heavier tarps, putting a stone in really takes up a lot of room, and I don't want to say it hurts the integrity of the tarp, but you're going to lose some area and sometimes it really messes your setup up. So what you can do now is you can take the device that we made and you could slide it all the way in on your tarp. Now, you might be thinking, well, how's that going to hold on? Well, that's where you take your second wedge that we created. You place it in the back groove, just like this. And then you could take just a baton, and hammer that in good and tight. And now we can tie off to this point right here. And you could see I'm really pulling on that tarp. That ain't going anywhere. Okay, so it's a very simple task that you could do. At this point then I can take my saw and cut this down, and this will be wedged on here really good and tight. That's a woodland clip. It's a very cool project. It's just something neat to do around camp, and you can use this in a variety of different situations. You just need to use your imagination and think about it. But for real, try it out, understand how to use it, and then again, something else that you can fall back on if the need arises. So this was Dan Welbeck with Coalcracker Bushcraft. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you haven't already, go over to coalcrackerbushcraft.com and check out all our classes and merchandise. And as always, stay in the woods, guys.